Hello everyone, welcome to Statistic and Probability Data Analytics. So today we'll be seeing to the different type of tests what we learned in a previous session, how it differ. We are taking it to a famous popular in today's world, the two tests, that is jet test and t test. Both are popular too much on those things. So I just remind you the both the what exactly is used for. So basically your jet test is a statistical hypothesis which is used to order the determine whether the two samples are means are calculated or standard deviation. So always jet test was using the two things, that is your means and the standard deviation to calculate the things, and it is used for statistical hypothesis. Comes to t-test, basically t-test is used for order the determining the average of data sets differ from the a standard deviation, and a variation is not known. In t-test the variations are not known. Now before moving to understand and the technical terminology with a t-test and a t-test, let's observe this diagram how it will be uses. So if you observe here, we are taking this particular diagram where we have a p-values, where rejection zone, critical values. So in this we have a acceptance zones as well. So here what we'll do, we take a null value. So always remember, whenever we use a jet test, what will happen, this particular areas are there. So we are taking as cutoff values. It test, if test statistic or critical values, then reject the null hypothesis. We are taking this particular rejection zone. This is your rejection zone. Now whenever you have the p values, it's depend upon the area of critical region. P-value is the area of right test statistical. This is your t-test of values observations. Then test statistical critical region p-values and reject at 0. Now this is your h null values, acceptance zones, significance and alternative. So here if you observe, we are taking this particular things in a t-test as well as the things, and now this is how it will be calculated, and we're trying to find out the things with a way where we get the proper analytics on that. So this is how we need to use those two together. Now just understand how it will be differ in that way. So basically whenever you go with the jet test or the t-test, both are used for two statistical method involved in a data analysis. Both is used for your now world is now in this we use the data analysis, which is having applications of your business, your science, your knowledge, your disciplines. And basically t-test will refer with the hypothesis test, and the t statistic when it comes to it will be using a population variation, standard deviation. This is comes to your jet, because t will not taking a variation, but jet will take is a variation population of approximately of the all the values on that. So that is how we are doing the g as a test and t test. But if you observe the first just as formula, if you go with that, you can calculate with the populations on that. We can do the derivations on that. If you go with that, our jet test will be compared with the sample different population, and it will be taken with the all the large samples. So whatever the large the values are more than 10, we can take, mostly we use the standard deviation for that. To using the standard deviation and means, we use jet test. Comes to the t-test, it will be using to calculate the hypothesis, but it is useful to need the determination of your statistical significance. So if you want to go with the determination of the significance, we use this. So here what happened, there it will be written if you have a lesser values, like your sample size will be less than 10 or it is the small values, we use the t-test. That is the main thing, like whenever we use this thing particular things on that. If you go with the basics definition, if you compare with this, so I'm going with the first the jet test, that is it's a kind of hypothesis test which it's giving the average of your two data sets and differ from the each other with the standard deviation or variation is given. Now move to the t-test, it will be referred as a kind of parameter test where is apply identity how the average two sets are differ from that each other it will be taking. Now compare with the population variation. When it comes to the z-test, it will be variance with the standard deviation. When t-test, it will be variance or the standard deviation is unknown here. Whenever you t-test, you will do the standard deviation unknown, but the jet test it will be there, we know that. Moving to sample size, so whenever we use jet test, just now I told it will be using the size of large, like when you have a large data set, mostly we use jet test. If you have a smaller size, then we use a t-test. Then comes to key assumption, whatever the main keys. So main keys are like all the data points will be your independence, compared to t-test it will be dependent. When it comes to this two things will be more dependent on that. So this is what we use for the z test on the t-test. Basically this things are the most important thing whenever we use this, the deviations on that wherever we used it. So this is how we need to go ahead and check the things. With this our test things are done, and with this we just learn the things in that we know all the regressions model, all the theorems, all the tests. Now with the help of this all test is your theorems, then it's your models like when you go with numpy, pandas, matplot, plotting. So now we are in a things where we done with all the things, we know that how to use it in a particular in a theoretical way as well as a practical way. So let's in a next session we'll be doing one small mini project for you. So with this you will be finished with your things in a proper way where you learn the things in that way you can use it in a future uses. So in a mini project we try to use all the particulars previous way that we use it. So how we do the as a data analytics, because with this you will be is a professional data analytics with the help of your statistic probability. So as a data analytics you should know how to do the analysis with the databases. So in a mini project we'll do the same thing. So let's see in a mini project how you have to going through how you need to do it. Thank you.